Greetings, gentlemen. Once again, it is I, Robert Meyer Burnett, from the Robservations YouTube show, the show about something. First of all, I have to say that before I begin this new episode of Living the Lucky Tiger Life, I'm growing a beard for the first time. Very excited about growing a beard. And you know why I'm growing a beard? Because I am a huge fan of Lucky Tiger Men's grooming products. Seriously, I am. But I haven't had much facial hair, so I haven't been able to use a lot of the products that they've sent me to check out. And now I've waxed rhapsodic about how much I love their facial scrub, which Lucky Tiger's CEO Alan Murphy told me that they actually have bamboo in it. I love the texture. I love the smell. I love these Lucky Tiger Men's grooming products. And I do really like their shaving cream. I think it's great stuff, and I just don't have much use for it. So I figured I'm going to grow a beard, and I'm going to try every product in the Lucky Tiger product line. So why not do that in the month of November? No Shave November, gentlemen. No Shave November. And while you're not shaving, you know what you get to go do? You get to go see the movies. You know, you know how it is. It's Friday night, right? Your wife says, honey, what do you want to do? And you say, I don't know. What do you want to do? And she's like, I don't know. What do you want to do? And you're like, well, I want to do what you want to do. And this could go on all night long, and you never wind up going anywhere. Well, that's why I'm here to tell you what movies you can go see all through the month of November, literally leading all the way up to the day before Thanksgiving. So welcome to this, the first Living the Lucky Tiger Life November or Thanksgiving movie season recommendations coming at you from me.
Can you believe this weather, Frank? Huh? It's 85 degrees outside. Perfect.
Hey, Tony Jack.
Jimmy. People freezing to death in New York, and look at us. Huh?
Hey.
Why we don't live here all year round is what I want to know.
Oh.
Beautiful.
It's summer.
What?
It's summer. People aren't freezing to death in New York. It's summer.
In my mind, it's always 8 degrees in New York. I'm making a point.
Making a point. Making a point dressing like that? Is that you dress for a meeting?
And this is how you dress in Florida? In a suit?
For a meeting? Anywhere. Florida, Timbuktu, I dress in a suit. For a meeting. And you're late.
What?
You're late.
And it was traffic.
Yeah, it's traffic.
Wasn't it traffic?
You give me
It was
traffic.
traffic. What do you want from us? It was bumper to bumper.
Yeah, no, it's bad, you know.
Traffic. I never waited for anyone who was late more than 10 minutes in my life.
I'd say 15. 15's right.
No, 10.
I don't think so. 10's not enough. You have to take traffic into account.
That's what I'm doing. I'm taking traffic into account. That's why it's 10.
I still say 15.
No, 10.
Fine, we disagree on that.
How about 12 and a half minutes?
There we go. 12 and a half. Middle, right in the middle. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, more than 10 is saying something. Are you saying something to me?
I'm here. It says what it says.
First up, and clearly one of the most exciting films on this list, is Martin Scorsese's new 3.5-hour crime epic, The Irishman. Based on Charles Brandt's book, I Heard You Paint Houses.
Frank Sheeran. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you said right.
Under the contract, management can only fire a driver on very specific charges. So, you ever show up late?
No,
Do you have any moving violations?
no,
Do you drink on the job?
no.
You ever hit anybody?
On a job?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
All right, then. We don't have nothing to worry about.
The film brings Scorsese together with Al Pacino, believe it or not, for the very first time. And, of course, Pacino's teaming up with Robert De Niro, like we saw in Heat. And, of course, Joe Pesci.
But now I'm a man.
I want you to meet my cousin, Russell Buffalino.
How are you?
Hi, nice to meet you.
It was like the Army. You followed orders. You did the right thing. You got rewarded.
I'm a man.
A friend of ours is having a little trouble. Friend at the top.
Back then, there was nobody in this country who didn't know who Jimmy Hoffa was.
You got a gun! Get the gun out of his hand!
You always charge a guy with a gun. With a knife, you run away. So you charge with a gun, with a knife, you run. Hiya, Frank. Would you like to be a part of history?
Yes, I would.
Big business and the government are working together, trying to pull us apart. Something's got to be done.
What else you say? Now's not the time to not say.
And interestingly enough, rather than use other actors or physical makeup, they used CGI de-aging technology to be able to play themselves over the 50-year span that the movie covers. I think that this movie is going to be, well, the best film of the year. I think it's going to win. I think it's going to win the Oscar for best film of the year. I'm completely excited for this.
We're going to war with these people. War.
Things have gotten out of hand with our friend.
You gotta sit down. Everybody says so.
No, I'm not sitting down. I can't do it.
It's what it is.
What it is.
I know things they don't know I know.
Now, I would encourage all of you lucky Tiger men who want to look good and feel great, I would encourage all of you to roll out to see this movie in the theater. Now, it's true, it will be on Netflix at the end of November, but for the first 3 weeks, you can see this unbelievably extraordinary epic in the movie theaters. And I would encourage everyone to do so because this truly is a cinematic experience like no other. At a 3.5-hour running time, you got to drain the main vein before you see it. But by God, I think this is going to be the film of the year, if not the film of a lifetime. The Irishman. It gets my highest recommendation.
You know, I don't care whether you did it or not. That makes no difference to me.
Yeah, I know.
I'm here to defend you, right?
Right. What do you want to know? You want to know if I did it or not?
On Wednesday, November 6th, indie darling director Noah Baumbach's new movie, Marriage Story, comes into town, and it's a film that already is generating amazing Oscar buzz coming off of its recent film festival screenings. The film stars Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow herself, and Adam Driver, soon to be seen in the upcoming Rise of Skywalker as the evil Kylo Ren. They are a married couple whose marriage is coming apart at the seams.
What I love about Nicole, she is a mother who plays, really plays.
What I love about Charlie, he loves being a dad. He loves all the things you're supposed to hate, like waking up at night.
She knows when to push me and when to leave me alone.
He never lets other people keep him from what he wants to do.
Dad, you're too far.
I know. It's not easy for her to close a cabinet.
He's incredibly neat.
She's brave.
He's brilliant. He's very competitive.
And apparently it's their career best work for each one of the actors. It really looks to be heart-wrenching. Perhaps not the movie you want to see during the Thanksgiving season, but maybe it's a movie you need to see to remind you, as a lucky Tiger man, how lucky you are to have the life that you do.
So I'll tell Charlie what's happening, and Cassie, you then hand him the envelope.
I just get nervous. Can you unserve?
What do you mean, like take it back? Charlie and I are getting a divorce, Mom. You can't be friends with him anymore.
Mom! Charlie Bird! Mom!
Mom? Mom!
What?
You know, most people in my business, you're just transactions to them. I like to think of you as people.
Oh, okay, good.
You remind me of myself on my second marriage.
Baby, I'm amazed the way you love me all the time.
Part of what we're gonna do together is tell your story.
Did you dye your hair again?
No, this is me. You don't like it?
Is it shorter? I prefer it longer, but...
How are you doing?
Either way, it looks to be an incredible film. I'm really looking forward to seeing this. I mean, there's nothing better than to watch two actors at the top of their game going at each other. People have compared this movie to things like Kramer versus Kramer. I don't know. I have yet to see it. Very excited to go, but this is definitely something you need to check out. Once again, that is Marriage Story, and it opens on November 6th.
I realized I didn't ever really come alive for myself. I was just feeding his aliveness.
I'll never get to really be his parent again. He needs to know that I fought for him.
Not as simple as not being in love anymore.
Eventually, it'll be the two of you having to figure this out. Together.
If we start from a place of reasonable and they start from a place of crazy, when we settle, we'll be somewhere between reasonable and crazy.
Next up, director Roland Emmerich is back. He who directed, of course, Independence Day, Stargate, that recently celebrated its 25th anniversary, Mel Gibson in The Patriot, a man who can blow things up like nobody's business. He is back with a World War II epic.
There's this kid. He didn't think he could cut it. I figured it was just the usual jitters. I take him under my wing. He was fine to be scared.
Pearl Harbor is the greatest intelligence failure in American history.
This can never happen again. I want to make it right.
At least some of the boys still want to fight.
The Japanese are planning something bigger.
So what's the target?
We believe it's Midway.
Washington disagrees.
Washington is wrong.
If we lose, the Japanese own the West Coast. Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Will burn.
And when was the last time you saw a great World War II epic utilizing modern technology to show us what? The Battle of Midway, the way it's never been seen before. Of course, those of you who are older men might remember Midway from the 70s, of course, released once in Sense-Around, but this new Midway promises to be outstanding. I mean, the digital mayhem that's on display.
We got the order to launch. We need to throw a punch so they know what it feels like to be hit.
We're talking about a couple dozen planes against a whole Japanese fleet. This isn't a fair fight. I don't know how to lead these men.
They'll follow you anywhere.
You know that you came through when people are counting on you. You'll be able to face anything.
Of course, the Battle of Midway was one of the most decisive events in the Pacific Theater during World War II, and this movie promises to show it like we've never seen it before. I can't even imagine. Woody Harrelson plays Chester Nimitz. We got Ed Skrein. He's in it. Patrick Wilson is in it. Dennis Quaid is in it. Luke Evans. Mandy Moore is in it. My God. Aaron Eckhart, after being Two-Face, he is back. Nick Jonas is in this movie. I mean, this is just like a 70s disaster epic like Universal would make, during the 70s. Can't wait to see this movie. It looks to be outstanding. And the more I see from it, the more excited I get. And, I grew up loving World War II movies, so I'm really excited. It's kind of interesting that Roland Emmerich, who's a German, made a movie about the Battle of Midway. But can't wait to see it. It's going to be a great way to lead yourself into the Thanksgiving season. It comes out on November 8th. Not to be missed.
When I was a kid, there was a place. A dark place. They closed it down and let it rot. But the things that lived there...
Hello, Daddy.
They come back.
Now, what's the holiday movie season without a horror movie. And boy, do we have a doozy. Mike Flanagan, he who directed things like Oculus, or The Haunting of Hill House, or the Netflix Stephen King adaptation Gerald's Game, is back with an adaptation of King's Dr. Sleep. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Sleep is actually Stephen King's sequel to The Shining.
Not many ride the bus this far north. You're running away from something?
I'm running away from myself, I guess.
Hi. You can hear me. You're magic. Like me.
I don't know about magic. I always called it The Shining. The world is a hungry place. A dangerous place.
These people, they hurt people like us.
And the movie stars Ewan McGregor as the grown-up Danny Torrance, the boy from The Shining. It's a direct sequel to The Shining, and it also co-stars Rebecca Ferguson, looking mighty fine in her hat that looks like she borrowed it from Slash's wardrobe. But by God, she leads a band of people that want to essentially devour other human beings who possess The Shining.
These empty devils, they'll eat what shines. And they've noticed that little girl.
Wow, hi there.
Get out of my head! Get out!
I haven't felt power like that in so long.
They're coming. Where are we going?
There's a place. You sure you want to do this?
I'm ready.
Yes, you run, dear. And then I will find you. And you will scream for years.
Come and play with us forever and ever.
This film looks to be outstanding. Anybody who's seen Flanagan's work, he's become a master of the jump scare. He can truly elicit creeps from you. I am very much looking forward to this movie. I read the book. The book was okay. To be honest, I didn't love the book. But what Flanagan did here that's sort of interesting, he's made both a sequel to the novel, and he's also sequelized Kubrick's seminal 1980 horror masterpiece, which Stephen King has always said he didn't like very much. And of course, The Shining, the film version of The Shining has gone on to be a bona fide timeless classic, really. Who doesn't love The Shining? So it's interesting, too, if any of you saw Ready Player One, Steven Spielberg altered the book and added a scene that's set in the Overlook Hotel. So it's very strange that this will be the second movie that plays on and is a sequel to and takes us back to the Overlook Hotel. So it's going to be interesting to compare and contrast. Well, how did the Overlook look in Ready Player One? It looked like it was sparkling new. In this movie, the hotel's been abandoned and it's fallen into disrepair. But I'll tell you, as a Stephen King fan, I mean, his book, The Institute, just came out. He's got another book coming out, but we're going through a Stephen King renaissance right now. It Chapter 2 just left theaters. Of course, the HBO series The Outsider comes out at the beginning of the year. CBS is currently shooting the second miniseries adaptation of one of my favorite books of all time, The Stand. So it's great to see Stephen King once again. His work is being used as the jumping off point for just more horror cinema to put nightmares. I mean, who doesn't want a good nightmare before Thanksgiving? You're going to have enough nightmares with the in-laws and with all the family that's going to descend on wherever it is you're at. Or maybe you're the people descending on the rest of your family. Maybe you're the people that are being dreaded. But either way, Dr. Sleep is coming out. I couldn't be more excited for this. It also opens up on November 8th, the same day as Midway. Heck, go to a double feature. Or if you want to save some money, pay for one movie and sneak into the other. No, I'm just kidding. I can't advocate that. But anyway, I am desperately excited to see Dr. Sleep. You should be too. If you're a Stephen King fan, I know you're on pins and needles with this one. Dr. Sleep.
How long we known each other, Ken? I ever break a promise to you? I will put you in the driver's seat at Le Mans. You just shut your mouth and let me do my thing. All right. Come here.
Morning, Shelby.
Morning, Molly. I'm yours. I'll go to hell.
And that's it, folks. Ferrari wins the 24 Hours of Le Mans for the 5th consecutive year.
Mr. Ford, Ferrari has a message for you, sir.
What did he say?
He said Ford makes ugly little cars in ugly factories. And, he called you fat, sir.
Now, on November 15th, if you're not going to see Charlie's Angels, I know that every lucky Tiger guy out there wants to go see Ford versus Ferrari, or, as it's being called in the UK and other European territories, Le Mans 66.
So the great Carroll Shelby is going to build a car to beat Ferrari with a Ford.
Correct.
And how long did you tell them you needed? 200 or 300 years?
90 days.
Ford hates guys like us because we're different.
Well, we heard he's difficult.
Ken? No, Ken's a puppy dog.
It's awful. If there's a problem, the computer will find it.
Get some Scotch tape and a ball of wool.
What are they doing?
Making your car faster.
That's more like it! Ken Miles is not a Ford man.
We're on the verge of something. And now you tell me that I can't have the best man in the world behind the wheel?
Give me one reason why I don't fire everyone starting with you.
Well, sir, we're lighter, we're faster. When that don't work, we're nastier.
Go ahead, Carol. Go to war. You got a plan?
It's high risk.
I thought the whole point was to win the damned race.
If this were a beauty pageant, we just lost.
Looks aren't everything.
The movie looks so good. I was actually at CinemaCon in Las Vegas back in April, where they show footage to all the exhibitors. And I was able to see this. This movie was not on my radar. I wasn't excited for this film, but I did grow up. I loved watching Formula One racing as a kid. And I even collected like Dinky and Corgi Formula One cars. I remember my favorite was the Corgi John Player Special Black Lotus. I loved it. So when I saw clips from this movie, I'm like, oh my God, I have to see this movie. It looks terrific. It looks, I heard it described actually as the collision between art and commerce. You had Carl Shelby, who literally he took car design very seriously, but he took it. It was an art form to him, fighting against corporate interests, fighting against Ford, the very people that wanted him to win this battle. He had to fight against them to get what he needed to win. And I think this is going to be a film that. It's definitely an awards contender. It's certainly, if you are a Lucky Tiger man, this is probably, of all of the movies, it's probably the one you're going to most want to see. Now, I don't necessarily think it's going to be better than The Irishman, but I'm looking very forward to it.
So tell me, have you done this a lot? Met people on the computer service? Don't you find it's always the same?
You mean the anticipation followed by the letdown? But I tell myself, brace up. This time it will be different. Which is why I must now confess to you a deception on my part. My name is in fact not Brian, it's Roy.
This holiday season is so exciting that sometimes two movies that you are going to want to see open on the same day. And on the same day as Ford versus Ferrari, The Good Liar opens. The Good Liar is directed and produced by Bill Condon, who of course made films such as Dreamgirls, and it stars Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren. Ian McKellen plays an aging con artist who is looking to hook up with Helen Mirren and swindle her out of her fortune. You have these two powerhouse actors from the British stage and screen that have been delighting us for years.
How much do you think she's worth?
Nearly £3 million.
You're going to take the lot?
You bloody bet I'm going to take it all. Is that your grandson?
It's too soon to be getting so close to him.
I've grown very fond of you.
Do you know who you are? You're the only person on this planet who makes me feel that I'm not alone.
I know things about you. Who you really are.
You don't want to do this, Roy. It's the game. It's the adrenaline rush. What if it is?
Something tells me Ian McKellen is going to get more than he bargained for, because nobody can take down Helen Mirren. At least that's the way I see it. I hope you can go see this movie after you've seen Ford v Ferrari. If not, see it before. But either way, see it.
Seems like you've had quite a past.
Enough to last several lifetimes. And just a blink, your life's changed forever.
You know, it's very peculiar doing things you'd never imagined. Secrets between you, God, the devil, and the dead.
You don't know him!
I think it's probably a pretty good bet that both of these actors are going to be talked about when the awards roll around next year, not the least of which is the Oscar, because these performances are probably going to be some of the gems of the year. This is not to be missed.
Your father died protecting this city.
Freeze, Jack! Halt!
He taught you to follow your conscience in an often cruel world.
What happened? Worst day in 18 years.
How many cops?
8.
Why were they here?
They responded to a robbery.
Shot fired! Shot fired! Officer down!
Automatic weapons. 2 shooters. They have training.
How old were you when your father's captain came? I asked for you for a reason.
Now, if you celebrate your holiday season with a horror film, why doesn't A Lucky Tiger Man also celebrate with a high-powered crime thriller? And that's what 21 Bridges promises. Produced by the Russo brothers, who are coming off their triumphant direction of Avengers Endgame earlier this year. Chad Boseman, coming off of Black Panther, is playing a police officer who's hot on the trail of suspects involved in an officer-related shooting during a drug deal gone bad in New York City. He has a very short period of time to find these guys, so he shuts down all of New York. The trains, the bridges, everything. Of course, the movie also stars J.K. Simmons, Sienna Miller, Taylor Kitsch, Stephen James, Keith David, and this thing looks to be amazing.
I will find out.
We just killed cops. We need to run. We gotta move fast. Cars not ours, plates are stolen.
If we don't catch these guys in the next 3 or 4 hours, they vanish. How you gonna do this? Close the island. There are 21 bridges in and out of Manhattan. Shut them down. 3 rivers, close them. 4 tunnels, block them. Stop every train and loop the subways. Then, we flood the island with blue.
Mask on, Scott. Get mask on. And none of this makes sense. The bid was for 30 keys. We walked into 300. Mask on, yeah. Get mask on.
They'll have to open Manhattan by morning. 8 dead policemen is one thing, but the stock market losing billions of dollars is quite another.
This whole thing is filthy. You know how mean you gotta be to move 300 kilos of cocaine? Oh my God.
The film is directed by Brian Kirk, and his direction in this looks like it follows in the footsteps of William Friedkin with The French Connection and To Live and Die in L.A. I'm very excited to see this film. I love me a good cop thriller, and what's better than the holiday season with cops and robbers chasing each other across New York City?
What is going on here?
I just need the truth, that's all.
They told me you were fearless. The guy who kills cop killers. Sees his dad in every cop who dies.
Nobody approach him. He's mine. Police, out of the way. Move.
They're not gonna escape this island.
You're the only cop tonight who speaks first and shoots second.
I will find out why the night happened.
Represent, yeah, gotta represent. Hey.
21 Bridges is released on November 22nd.
Harlan started out with a Rusty Smith Corona and built himself into one of the best-selling mystery writers of all time.
30 languages, over 80 million copies sold. You guys fans?
I mean, I don't do much fiction reading myself.
Big fan. I'm a big fan.
Who is that guy?
Mr. Blanc is a private investigator of great renown.
I read a tweet about a New Yorker article about you. You're famous.
The night of his demise, the family had gathered to celebrate your father's 85th birthday. And your son, Ransom, did he attend as well?
Yes, but he left early. I think Linda was upset.
Walt would get a little Irish courage in him. He'd get into it with Harlan.
What? Richard said what?
Are you baiting me, detective?
Attempting to be thorough so we can figure out the manner of death.
You mean if someone killed him? You think one of us, one of his family,
Walt
killed him?
Mr. Blanc, I just buried my father who committed suicide. Why are you here?
I suspect foul play.
And rounding out November, opening on November 27th, right before Thanksgiving, is one of my most eagerly awaited films of the year, director Rian Johnson's Agatha Christie-esque whodunit, Knives Out. Rian Johnson, of course, directed things like his first film, Brick, which was a really interesting pastiche of the noir detective drama set in high school, a must-see if you haven't seen it. His science fiction film, Looper, with Bruce Willis, and then, of course, The Last Jedi. This film looks incredible.
I have eliminated no suspects.
Harlan was cleaning house.
Everyone in the family has possible motives.
Was Harlan planning on cutting off Joni?
Did he plan to fire Walter?
Is Richard having an affair?
That's some heavy-duty conjecture.
Funny, Ransom, you skipped the funeral, but you're early for the will reading.
Up your ass.
Very nice.
Ransom.
I gotta do this more often. The family is truly desperate. When people get desperate, the knives come out. This is a twisted web. And we are not finished untangling it. Not yet.
Jamie Lee Curtis, Toni Collette, Captain America himself, Chris Evans, Daniel Craig, Michael Shannon, Christopher Plummer, and of course, Don Johnson, who's undergoing a renaissance, showing up in HBO's Watchmen, and now he's showing up here. This film looks to be, well, dare I say it, delightful. A whodunit like we haven't seen in the theaters in a long time. I think this film, this cast, I can't even imagine what it was like to work on this film. Truly amazing. Knives Out promises to be a delightful Hollywood confection that we haven't seen in a long time. I am really looking forward to this film. You know, there's nothing that really turns me on more than a great ensemble cast in the middle of a whodunit. I mean, when I was a kid, I grew up watching things like Murder on the Orient Express. I love things like this, and this film just looks to be amazing.
I keep waiting for the big reveal.
All of them lied to me. There is one guilty party behind it all.
You know something. Spill it.
Oh my God. Tell me what happened to my grandfather.
I think you have something you want to tell me.
Well, this concludes Living the Lucky Tiger Life's look at the movies of Thanksgiving 2019. November of 2019 is an exciting movie season, and I know all of you Lucky Tiger guys are very excited about it. That doesn't mean you're absolved of your responsibility taking the ladies of your life to see Frozen 2. And really, just let it go and take them. And I'm also excited about, No Shave November. If nothing else, I'm going to be able to use Lucky Tiger men's grooming products that I've seldom dreamed of using because I thought the day would never come. Well, that day has come, and I'm very excited. What is this beard going to look like by the time I do this in December? So for Lucky Tiger, for Living the Lucky Tiger Life, I am Robert Meyer Burnett. You can find me on my YouTube channel at The Burnettwork, or watch my daily show, Robservations, the show about something. And know, as I grow my beard, I cannot wait to slather more Lucky Tiger products on my face to see what having facial hair is all about. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.